And we are live. Yes, yes, Lord. What's going on, y'all? This is Leveraging Your L's. We are here with yours truly. My name is Rafael Jimerson, aka Stamper, and we are here with my lovely co-host, Tierra Bryant. And we have a special guest, long overdue. We got Norman in the building, notarizing Norm. What's going on?
Yay!
How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, appreciate you for jumping on with us
Yay! How you doing?
Love to see it.
Yeah, appreciate you for jumping on, man. This has been long
Thank
overdue.
you.
We had a
Yes,
couple
thank
of
you for
hiccups in the
having
process of
me.
trying to get you on, but yeah, we finally got everything set up now.
Yes. It's still like a shock to the morning, but I'm glad to be here.
Nah, man, the pleasure is all ours, man. I always like to start this thing off as like obviously we always talk about the business of the notary. One thing I always like to ask was, how was your business and how was your business going for this week? Any new surprises? Anything out of the norm? No pun intended that happened this week.
Ironic, yes. Out of the norm. I just came back from Arizona Tuesday night. I went to the NNA conference, so that's definitely out of the norm. That was my first NNA conference, and I would say it was really, really good. Like it was good. It was informative. I was really tired. That was my first time in Arizona, also, so I got to like explore at the same time. But I'm not gonna lie, it was certain times I was in bed by like 7, 8 p.m. Like conference is done. I'm like, oh okay, like let me just lay down. Next thing you know, lay down and that's it.
Now, someone that hasn't attended like whether it's a business conference or just a conference in general for notaries, what would be like the benefit of someone that's new or seasoned to attending these type of conferences?
One thing I would say is you could definitely write it off on your taxes. You could do it as a business expense. Whether it's your flight, whether it's you paying for your baggage to go to baggage claim, whether it's the conference ticket, things like that, anything pertaining to business, you could put it off and write it off at the end of the year. Another one I would say is definitely networking with other notaries because now it forces you to like be in someone's face. And if you don't take advantage of being in their face, then that's kind of on you. But there's tons of people there. Actually, another benefit is like you can get preferred. Like I was telling Tiara that two people randomly preferred me. Like we had like a 2 minute conversation max, and they was like, "Oh yeah, I'll put you preferred." And I was like, "Okay, thanks." Like in my head, I was like, I was gonna ask it, but like you beat me to it.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah, typically they think most notaries think it's just some secret sauce to becoming a preferred notary, but it really just come
Mm-hmm.
down to just being visible, just having a conversation. And a lot of
Yeah.
times, what I've said too is like working. I mean, I've read times you want to work with people who you know or just have a conversation with, and a lot of times, if you're just a cool, like overall person, a good overall person, and you give good energy, you just seem like an easy person to work with. More times than not, you're going to get that business. So I appreciate you for sharing that, and I also want to touch on the importance of networking with notaries. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's something that took me about 4 or 5 years to finally realize. But you talk about why it's important for notaries to like network like the notaries to network with each other.
I will say the importance is you get to like pass off signings just in case you're unable to go to them. There may be times that we have like 9 to 5s and we also have like notary as well, so you may just not be there and it may just be life, so you're able to like network with that notary and trust them, see how they work, and then offer the signings to them. Another thing is referrals for any other business. Y'all could collaborate on different agendas in the future. Y'all could do whatever you want. Like they could put you on to other opportunities. And I think that me networking definitely allowed me to get introduced to other opportunities that I didn't think I would be like able to or didn't even know about.
That's dope. That's dope, man. Thanks for sharing that. Because I think yesterday I got a couple of referrals from a notary who I work with here locally, and especially on those days where it seemed like it may be dry, no sign of services are reaching out to you. You may have gotten a couple of phone calls for services, but it's just not going your way. All it takes is a couple of referrals for someone that you know that could really help you get things going in the right direction. So network with other notaries. It always works.
Yeah.
How was your week? How was your week in business? How was everything? I know you booked a few weddings or two.
Yes, my week was pretty good. I just wanted to piggyback off you said about networking with other notaries. The other benefit to it is really that like we all have our different niches, right? So it's like I'm really into weddings. Stamp is really into estate plans. Norman is kind of like a social butterfly. He can kind of tip tap and toe into all different areas. But someone like my co-host Corinne, who is primarily apostilles, is you can gain knowledge from other people, especially when you build those kind of just organic relationships. When I first started, if I had a question about estate plans, I know that I can like call or like text Stamp. And even now, when I get calls about apostilles, that's not like my main, thing. And it's a complex, type of niche where you can have a big bag if you know what you're talking about. But if you don't know what you're talking about, you could really, talk yourself out of some money. So, just having a relationship with Corinne, I was able to text her like, okay, this person won 10 death certificates. Like, I don't even know where to begin to like, charge them. Yeah. And while that ain't my cup of tea, it's hers. So like now it's like an opportunity to open up a relationship where she could expand maybe into New Jersey, and then I can handle her footwork for New Jersey clients. And now that's an additional revenue stream for like both of y'all off of just having a relationship with someone who has a different niche than you. So it's definitely important to network with other notaries or just peers within your industry, period.
Yeah. When you mentioned weddings, I was about to say in my head, like, do you want to mention the story?
I'll tell you. Yes. Even like how Norm even became a wedding officiant. It was because of a mistake. I double booked myself being in the beginning. And I called Norm like, you ever thought about being a wedding officiant? And he was just like, people told me I could do a good job at it. Like I've been in weddings before. And I was like, okay, like the fact that you were even game was like, all right, I could teach you because you were at least like interested in it. Some people are like, no, public speaking, no, too much. Yeah. I'm scared. I'm nervous, blah, blah, blah. You were just like, I can figure it out. And I was like, well, I can make it easier for you to figure out. Come meet up with me. And we went through, everything in my e-course and just answered all these questions and got him ordained and started practicing for this wedding. And he killed it. And he's had so many weddings under his belt now. He trying to expand his wedding business into other states, like off of the bah humbug that I goofed up.
Yeah. And I'll be laughing. I really still be laughing to myself like, wait, I can really still marry people. Like, this is a joke. It's got to be a joke. But then guess what? It's not a joke. It's a real thing.
So let me get this straight. So you hadn't done a wedding before, and Tierra reaches out to you just on the whim like, hey, I know you something you can help me out with, and let me ask you this. Now, when you were approached about it, were you a little nervous, scared about it?
So let me tell you what happened. So I was actually in California for a wedding, my friend from high school's wedding. So I go to weddings. Like, I was telling Tiara, I was like, yeah, I love open bar. Like, I go to the weddings. I'm definitely going to go. But I was like, marrying people, like, all right, like, we'll see. So she asked me, California has the hour difference too. So I was like doing my 9 to 5 like earlier than usual because I have to like make sure it's fine for here. And then she called and then we were just chatting for a bit. And next thing you know, I get off the phone. I'm like, wait, I'm really about to be like ordained in a little bit. And then I came back and then we met that week. I became ordained. Then I met up with the couple virtually, spoke to them a few times, practiced with Tiara in the library a few times. Next thing you know, I'm marrying them. So, yeah.
Were you nervous though? Like for your first time, did you feel nervous? Did you feel confident?
I wasn't nervous at all, actually.
That's good.
I wasn't.
I'm just thinking, like, well, if that was somebody else who may not have, they would have been scared in the moment and just like completely bypassed on it. Yeah. And I look at it from the standpoint where like said, it was obviously your first time doing this, but what was able to spring from just doing that from that initial first time, you two were able to build not only a personal relationship but a professional relationship, and it does have weddings and vice versa. Y'all both have that trust with each other. It was like, look, if I can't do it, I know Tara can do it. If I can't do it, I know Norm can do it. And all it is that one wedding for you to do that, and have someone to walk you through the steps and be there with you. So that's major, man. All it takes is just one. All it takes is just one.
No, Norman texts me all the time, like, oh, I just like booked this wedding, or, you know, I have this consultation coming up, or I'm doing a jail wedding. Like, he's always kind of like, he's done stuff I haven't even done yet. Like, so I'm always so proud of Norman, because he's always like taking opportunities and kind of going with it and like stride and, you know, grace and confidence. And he's just like, all right, well, I'm gonna figure it out. Like, I'm gonna find the resources. I'm gonna go to people who are resourceful, and I'm gonna just make it do what it do. So that's why I always, you know, Norman is like my number two. I tell all my couples that, and once they see his online presence and they like look at his, you know, stuff for his weddings and his reviews, they're like, okay, you're along the same vibe as me anyway. So I don't mind that, you know, that person being involved if they have to. So that's a kudos to him as well, because people be like, I don't know this person, like, I don't want to work with them. Find me somebody else, and then I gotta find somebody else, so I don't have to deal with that. And I'm so grateful.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
Now, I was gonna say, you did a jail wedding before? Because I did it. Because I did a jail signing.
It's coming.
Okay.
So
yeah,
it's gonna be. I'm gonna do content on that when it officially comes, but it's getting postponed because like the client, the guy that's in there, he ended up getting into like a fight, so that's like postpone it. But with the jail wedding, you kind of have to get the permission from the warden first, and because it's only one partner outside, like, you know, in society, they have to do things a little bit different, as opposed to you just going with your partner, getting a marriage license, and continuing it.
That's pretty dope, man. I'm starting to like the jail signings more and more. I did one yesterday.
Okay, how was it?
It was pretty good. It was someone. Funny enough, it was a gentleman. His wife is a paralegal, so I guess they had a notary who typically would do the runs to do the signings at the jail. It was a power of attorney. And he just found me. The reason why he ended up finding me was he ended up calling another notary before me, but I guess the notary was like, "No, I don't do jail signings." So I was the second one. I was the second one he called, and I was I was down for it. So I ended up initially I was supposed to do it. So but the day before that, the assignment was supposed to take place. But it was, when I did go to the jail, I was trying to schedule it through the jail. They were saying they was like working some things around, and they weren't really accepting outside notaries for doing the signings. So I ended up following up with them the next day. And actually, no, the caseworker, she ended up calling me the next day and was saying I got the okay to actually get it on the calendar for the day and get it signed, get everything taken care of. So it was easy. I just walked in there. All my credentials. I had been up there before already, so just walked in there at the document, got everything signed and notarized. Went to the law office, attached my card to the paperwork, so they know, hey, if y'all need me to go up there on the regular, I can definitely do that for you. And it was quick and seamless. I think I paid $125.
That's good.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. One signature. You go in there and get it taken care of. So I want to do more of those jail signings because I'm starting to find out that more and more notaries, it's just like particular services that they won't offer. And me, I'm not turning nothing down. If it's something I can do outside of speaking Spanish, which I can't do, outside of that, if this is something that I can take care of, I'm gonna do it. So, say that one more time.
You guys are gonna laugh. We both are gonna laugh. I'm getting messages regarding at 4 p.m. today to do.
You said a what?
What'd you say?
You said a what?
Right now, Thumbtack. I'm getting messages on Thumbtack now regarding doing a wedding today at 4.
Let's tell you all the time. All the time. I literally just
like,
booked
wait.
one.
No,
For
Thumbtack.
2 weeks from now. It's crazy.
Yeah, Thumbtack has been. It's been Thumbtack
And
has
we
been
just said
Thumbtack.
this.
That's great.
Yes. These people have been last minute, and we actually had this conversation about how the wedding officiants, they're like the last people they think of,
Mhm. I just made a reel
but
about
they
that
don't get married
too.
without them.
Now, why is that the case? Isn't that something you would think that would be taken care of first? The person that actually got to actually do your vows and everything. Wouldn't that? Wouldn't that? I would assume that would have been like the first thing that you want to get taken care of first before you get the venue and all these other things in place to have to have the wedding.
So not necessarily, only because the venue dictates your date. So it's like if you want to have the venue on a certain day and you go to that venue and they're not available on that day, now your date has to change if you want that venue. So typically it's like venue, then your photographer, your videographer, because these are like ones that get booked up quickly and they're like, an all day type of vendor, so you want to get them, and they're probably more of the bigger expensive ones too, so you want to like block them out, start to get a budget going with them, X, Y, and Z. But officiants should definitely be like within the 6-month range when you start to look and start to research. One, because you want to do like good research, you want to make sure that you find someone that you like, but then two, because everyone wants a super personalized custom ceremony that tells their story and they want this perfect day, but they don't give time and like preparation towards it. So it's like you have all of these other things you have to do for this wedding, all these other vendors and decisions you have to make, and you leave your officiant, who again, it's a smaller part of your day. It's only a 30 minute ceremony, but your reception is maybe 4 hours. So that's where a lot of the eyes go. But you still want someone to tell this magical story. So you have to give them time and, interact with them enough to be able to provide that for you. So, but yeah, couples, they'll wait until like 2 weeks before their wedding, not take into consideration they still have to go to like the county clerk. And, there's like a whole process before that. So officiants are definitely underrepresented in the like wedding industry as a whole. And it's funny because I was telling Norm that a colleague of ours went to a like a social for wedding pros in LA, and there were lanyards, colored lanyards for each vendor, and it was like venue, wedding planner, DJ, this caterer, blah blah blah, and then it was like other, like nothing for officiants, just other. We just grouped in with like the stationaries and it's just crazy. And the car rentals, like what? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of different wedding vendors, but car rentals is one that you don't really think about. But those classic cars that people want to take these beautiful photos with, they rent them. The cars they drive home with or whatever after the ceremony, they rent them. So, or driving even into it. So, limos, all that stuff.
Okay. So one thing I want to talk about today is how to build credibility as a notary. What sparked this topic for me was I had a real estate agent reach out to me today is Thursday. I had him reach out to me Monday, and he's based in another state. Had a client here locally where I live at. We need to get a document notarized, and one of the main reasons why he chose me in particular, just my company in general, was like just going to my website, looking at the reviews and things of that nature. And he basically told me that's why he selected me. He said there was other couple of notaries who were there. He was looking at, but when he went through the reviews, he said you were someone who I want to work with. Well, there was someone initially who he called before me, but didn't answer the phone. Like in most cases, he said I seen your page, I seen your reviews, and you picked up the phone. You seemed like you were easy to work with, and I wanted to work with you. So outside of, obviously, we know reviews matter. We always encourage notaries to get reviews because that's one of the things that people are looking for, especially if you work even if you work as a service-based business owner, your reviews matter, right? So what would you say, or what were some ideas or things that you believe are some ways for notaries, for them, or some things that they can do to build credibility so they can continue to get more phone calls, turn those into appointments?
Credibility for me, I would say, is definitely. Oh, do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Yeah. So credibility for me, I would is definitely just being in your community, like being focused and being out there. Like what I do sometimes is I like mail out stuff to different companies and different clients in the community, putting out your marketing material too, and like pop up shops or like gyms and like any place you go, like just put your stuff out there so like the community knows who you are. Um, I would say another thing is too, like right, going to like networking events for sure. Um, because a networking event allows you to go to places that you normally go to, and during those opportunities, you can pass out your flyers or pass out, business cards.
Yeah.
Um, I would also say just letting people know what you do because people wouldn't know what you do until you tell them. So really just promoting yourself for sure. Um, really being honest. Really like thinking out of the box too. Because one thing about notary is like it's out of the box. It's out of the box job one, and then two, you need them like at random times, which is also out of the box situation. So you want to like expect the unexpected, go to places that you normally wouldn't go to. Like even if you may say, "Hey, I'm a notary," they may not need you for services, but they may need your service.
No. Yeah. That's good. Those was all some gems. I would agree with you. I mean, definitely the reviews. Reviews are super important. We already know people read reviews, especially if there is even Google. You can see how Google shows the impact of reviews because depending on what keywords people use in the review, if they're similar, they bring them to the top and it'll show you how many different reviews use this keyword, like efficient, like mobile, like professional, like, you know what I mean? These things. So we already know how important reviews are. So definitely highlighting people to do reviews, maybe sending it to them like immediately, letting them know as soon as your appointment is over, hey, I'm going to send you a text. Can you please leave me a 5-star review about, your wonderful experience with our notary company, whatever. So kind of prepping them like immediately after the appointment, verbally letting them know, having them confirm that, they know they're going to receive it. I like to send mine immediately after. I know some people wait like 24 hours after, or maybe do a follow-up on 24 hours after. Whatever you do, just get it out there. And if you're still finding difficulty, maybe attaching some type of incentive to the review. So maybe they'll get $5 off of their next, notary service. If they send you a review, even if you have repeat clients, still asking for a review after every time too, because they'll say on there like, oh, I've used this service before, I love it, this is my only person I go to, whatever. And then even for me, so I've learned about pull quotes from the wedding industry, where essentially is when you pull out a very important sentence within a full review that kind of like highlights whatever someone is saying. And so even for my website now, I kind of redid it a little bit, and I got to ask y'all a question about a Calendly update. But on my website, I started to use pull quotes where they're either specifically talking about the estate documents that I help them with, or they're specifically talking about their immobile family member that I provided mobile notary services for, because those are the two things that I want to do mostly for my notary business. Power of attorneys, estate plan documents, documents that have bigger bucks, and then travel services. So therefore I can charge whatever I want and you ain't got to hassle me about where I live at. So those are my couple things, but definitely reviews are super important. Like you were saying, like I've had customers tell me like, oh, I'm like, okay, you leave me a 5-star review after I'll send you the text, make sure y'all smiling. But yeah, basically like that. And then the guy was like, well, all I see is 5-star reviews, so I can't give you anything less. Exactly. Yeah. Add to it. So almost makes it like a cool little fan club, You get down with the gang.
Right. Yeah, outside of like always asking, like always get a point to always ask for reviews, even before the signing is completed. So I like to do it like this: before the signing is completed, after the signing is completed, And even if they don't leave the review within 24 hours, I'm sending them another request.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've been doing as of late because, yeah, the reviews are really important. Really important as far as like as my guy said, it's like the lifeblood to your business essentially. Like I've had moments where when I first started my Google page, and in the beginning, I would just really focus on getting those reviews. And the more reviews I was able to get, the quicker I was able to rise up within the rankings on Google and start to get more of those phone calls. Another way to build credibility, Norm touched on it, the networking events, especially locally, attending those local just getting out in the community, letting people know who you are, knowing your value proposition ahead of time, how you're able to service their clients. And also, to another way to build, I would say, to build credibility is knowing your clients' pain points. So if you know their pain points ahead of time, I think that'll make you look really great in their eyes, and that builds credibility as far as knowing like, oh, you're someone that knows, you're familiar with what I do and the things that I go through, with the struggles that I deal with trying to find a notary and knowing our process to get particular paperwork notarized. So knowing your pain points, knowing their pain points, knowing what your value proposition and what type of value that you're able to add, those are great ways to add credibility. As far as like networking events, I try to attend as many as I can. I'm not always able to attend every single one, but if you can attend at least 1 or 2 a month, I think that's like a sweet spot that you could be in where you're actually getting out there, getting in the community, people know who you are. And then this time before they actually reach out to you, marketing materials. I think you say you send like flyers out or postcards and stuff like that, Norm?
Yeah, I send flyers out. So I'll tell you the thing. So I juggle and do a lot of things. So I send out like a handwritten note sometimes and like my business card inside, or like sometimes I'll send my flyer with like a typed up note. And I'll just mail it to like places that attract me if I'm not able to physically go there. What I'll do too is leave them, like there may be bulletin boards. Like I'll go to Cordoba. That's one of my spots when I'm like running around. So I go to Cordoba, leave business cards there, leave flyers there. Go to like a few restaurants. I've actually left stuff and got a client from a farmer's market actually one time. And they actually became like a good client because they're a notary as well. So they'll call me if they need a witness for signing. They don't far from me neither, so it like works out. I will also sometimes, like if I'm on a train station, just randomly leave cards like on a leave cards or like a flyer on the seat. Somebody's gonna find it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think those is good too. So, definitely,
I think
those.
It's more so like.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say mostly like those kind of like you said, those public places, those community places, places with the high traffic. Those are good areas to kind of leave like your marketing material and stuff like that. And even if places have like community boards, I don't know if you like see them, but sometimes like grocery stores or your public library or some more like mom and pop business friendly smaller business will allow you to leave like your stuff there. It may not be the clients that you are envisioning for your business long term or is going to like feed your monthly income or anything like that, but it is a high traffic area, so you'll definitely get yourself out there a lot more. And I was going to say those Google My Business posts, I am not as consistent with them, but I know people who are, and they say that it really does affect like, how many calls they get and just kind of like how they show up in the Google setting and just how much of their information is out there online so that people kind of come into it a couple of different times while they're like researching for their notary. So it adds just more credibility too, because it's like, now you have all this education out and I can easily contact you. Your website look good. I call you, you answer the phone. You know what I mean? All these things kind of align together.
Yeah.
I think that's all we have for today. I'm not gonna hold y'all up too much longer. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say one other thing too. your network, like even other people that are your friends. They may not be in the notary business. Sometimes my friends may come over to my house. I'm giving them some flyers or some business cards. Yeah, you my people do something, or so they'll pass
Yeah.
it around. Like you got to use your network.
Okay. I like that. Those
No,
are
that's real.
those are all great tips. I hope everyone that's watching, I hope they utilizes, implement it in their business. The business is not hard. I think sometimes people tend to over, but it's just a matter of just being visible, uh, tapping into your network, letting people know what you do, and
Mhm.
most importantly, answering your phone when someone needs your services as well. So if you can do all of those and then just find what works for you and what doesn't, you're gonna be in a good spot moving forward.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Before we head out, we always like to do our shameless plugs. What y'all got coming up this week or in the near future?
Yeah, so as you know, me and Norm, we run the Wedding Efficient Academy. And Norm had the amazing idea of starting to bring in social so like we can meet in person. So we skipped out on May, but June 29th, which is a Thursday, we will be going to Tommy's Tavern and Tap. It's in Edison, New Jersey. They have a nice little rooftop. So definitely make sure that you hit us up. You can either go to the stand store, you can DM us, or sign up straight through like Luma. But yeah, definitely come out. It should definitely be fun, and it's rooftop, so be cute a little bit.
The
Yeah,
weather's getting nicer. Enjoy. Yes, yes, yes. We also have me and Latanya have notary networking, and actually this we like decided to add a little spa treatment in it on June 25th too. So that'll be in New Jersey as well. So you could DM me for more information, and just look out. Like this summer, Tiara and I are gonna have some good stuff for wedding officiants and people who are interested. So just be on the lookout, and we hope everybody's business is thriving.
What's your social media handle so they can reach out to you?
So it's notarize underscore or under dash with under dash norm. And then the wedding one is wed by norm.
Let's get it. All you wedding officiants out there, you want to learn how to book your first wedding, or you want to learn how to get deeper in your niche and build your business, I highly recommend tapping in with Sierra and tapping in with Norm at the Wedding Officiant Academy. What we got going on today? We got the estate plan signing specialist workshop that is today at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to learn how to book more estate plan signings, you want to learn how to build your business with estate plan signings, I will be going over a couple of documents to review. We'll be going over some marketing strategies, and I'll be going over what would be your value proposition when you do get in front of these estate plan attorneys or get in front of a paralegal. You're going to be well equipped with the knowledge to start booking more at that business. Make sure you go to treestamps.com. You'll see free estate plan signing workshop. Make sure you register. Registration does end in a couple of hours, so I would definitely encourage you to register before the registration ends. I want to thank my special guest, Norm. Thank you for being our guest today. We hope this is not the first time. We hope you come on with us again. Definitely. We hope you come on with us again. And until next time, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And let us know how we're doing.
Yes.
If you want to learn a little bit more about the notary business, or if you just have any questions in general, make sure you reach out to us. And until next time, y'all, peace.
Peace, y'all.
All right.